Have you ever felt like there's a unique spark within you just waiting to shine? You're not alone. At the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe that everyone has the potential to transform their lives with practical spirituality. Picture this: a supportive community where everyone is striving for a deeper spiritual connection. Imagine workshops that inspire, classes that enlighten, and a welcoming community that affirms who you truly are. We like to think of ourselves as your spiritual gym. Just like physical wellness requires practice and dedication, so does spiritual wellness. Our empowering principles are designed for daily use, helping you make meaningful changes in your life. It's all about changing your mind to change your life. Sounds simple, right? Whether you're looking to unlock your potential, find clarity, or simply connect with like-minded individuals, the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont is the place to be. We're open and affirming to all because we believe that everyone deserves a chance to shine. So, are you ready to step into a more empowered version of yourself? Join us at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Service, let me know as it unfolds.
All right, it is that magical time. Thank you for being here at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont this morning. We are going to begin our gathering this morning by lighting our flames of faith. So I invite you to finish your conversations and find a seat. We are going to begin by lighting our flames of faith this morning. As our first thing, someone turned to my page. Let me find it. I don't know where it went. Somebody moved my flames of faith. Alrighty. They were this morning.
All the way forward, no? If not, I'm going to run and grab some from my office.
Somebody.
All right. I will be right back with the hidden flames of faith.
Is this where I tap dance and start telling jokes? How are we doing this morning? Hey, while we're waiting, how about you find a neighbor, say good morning, and tell them one thing that you are grateful for this week. It was right here in the front. I don't know what happened to him. All right, we performed the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light the ninth candle, acknowledging all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's universal love. And together we say, and so it is.
And so, if this is your first time here, we want to welcome you, and we have a flower for you. Are there any people here for the first time? All right, we're starting something new where we welcome first-timers. We'll greet them with a flower to make you feel welcome. And online, if you're watching us for the first time, if you're a newcomer, it's your first time watching us online, if you show up in person, we'll have a flower for you. So we're glad you're here online or in person. It's good to see everybody back. People who haven't been here for a while, it's really good to see you back. And so now we're going to go into our song, which is our Welcome Home song. And it's something we'll learn as a congregation. The lyrics are up there. Reverend Neil got this slide up for us. And I'll sing it. I've sung it before. And if to the extent that you can follow along, I invite you to sing it. It's something we'll sing to our first-time visitors, to our visitors online. And we'll sing it to ourselves today since we don't have any first-time visitors. So it's Welcome Home. And the lyrics are on the screen, and it goes something like this. Oh, gosh, I wish Al was here. It'd be easier with a keyboard. But we know who you are. You are loved. You are loved. We see your perfection. Namaste. Recognizing your true spirit, we honor you today. Welcome home. Welcome home, namaste. So we're changing up the order of service a little bit. We'll be including that in our welcome greeting to everyone. It's something I used to do at the Bear Valley Center for Spiritual Living when I was up there, and I just love it. And something that always touches my heart. So I hope it touches your heart as we learn that, incorporate that in our service. And now we are going to our announcements, I believe, yes? Which? Opening song.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power. colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power. Oh, one power is what we are. One power. One power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
And I invite you to read our vision statement together with joy and enthusiasm this morning. CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. So it is.
So we're going to start with our announcements and Joe Goldsmith. Howdy Neighbor we did, and so we're going to go to Joe Goldsmith. And this book discussion group is on the Infinite Way, and it will bring the mystical teachings of Joel Goldsmith to you. It's at Evonne Fowler's home on Thursdays at 4 o'clock, and it is facilitated and led by Reverend Neil. So that's at 4 o'clock on Thursdays. Good Grief Support Group continues here on Thursdays from 1 to 2:30. Grief is anything: loss of career, loss of self-esteem, loss of spiritual connection. So any loss you're feeling is welcome. We welcome that at Grief Group, and we find our way from the grief, and we move from our hurts to our hopes to our healings, and that's my ministry. And Betty Ann's sitting back there going, yeah, that's a good ministry. It's a good ministry. It is a good ministry. So we find the good in grief. I never know how, but Spirit does. Right? That one power does. So Durwood's shaking his head. We have no idea how, and it's not ours to know the how. Ours is to show up and be present, and Spirit always guides the way. we invite you to celebrate a loved one with our flower ministry, and we have double flowers, abundance today. So the top flowers are from Lois, dedicated in honor of her mother, who was born in 1911. My mom was born in 1921, 1911, and her name, Lois? Thelma. Her name was Thelma, and Lois and I were sharing. She had a very close relationship with her mother, and she said she hopes that her mother is feeling the joy that Lois is feeling in her memory today. And I shared with Lois that we were putting out Christmas lights outside. Ross and I celebrate the Christmas season, and we hadn't done it in 2 years. We hadn't had time. We were putting the Christmas lights out, and I said, my dad's here. Because from the time I was 3 years old, I put up Christmas lights, and my dad saw my joy. And my joy, he reflected back to me, and I said, my dad's here. We're putting up Christmas lights. It's good. So I know Thelma's here, because when we experience joy, our loved ones are with us. And our second flowers are from Jasmine, in honor of her birthday month. So we want to celebrate the abundance of this center. It's not either or. Lois said, well, I'll wait until January, but I really want to celebrate Mom. Science of Mind is about and. It's not about either or. We can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this. When we move from the either or to the and, that's the one power showing up in our life. So thank you, Lois. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Rev Bev, and a shout out to Rev Bev, who is not feeling so great right now. So if we just hold her in prayer and send her that healing energy. And number one thing, I talked to Jason. Rev Bev, I know you're listening. The word is patience, and Rev Bev and I are not good on that. That is not our trait. We're not working on that. So a little bit of patience. I'm working on it in my life, and I know you're working on it in your life. We invite you to come every first and third Sunday from 9 to 9:30 in Carter Hall. We do our How to Speak Science of Mind. It's Science of Mind 101. It might even be Science of Mind 100 or 99. Very basic on how to speak Science of Mind. And what we talk about, the discussion is always fabulous from this book. And the discussion is always around what you think about, you bring about. Thoughts become things. So we talk about that, the power of our thoughts that connects us with that one power of spirit. Our Food for Fellowship Challenge. We have a sign-up list in the back to you to sign up to bring a main entree for our Sunday potluck. And if you sign up, the board will reimburse you for up to $50 if you provide the receipts for the cost of the food. And everyone is always welcome to bring side dishes. So I know Evonne signed up, and I know she brought lasagna soup. I've never heard of lasagna soup. It smells terrific. I almost had a little before service. I didn't. So I'm going to go get some lasagna soup because it smells terrific. And try something new. That's our teaching. Yes, that's our teaching. So grab something new you haven't tasted out there. Our CSLB practitioners, well, a limited amount of our practitioners, Evonne and Adrian, not the whole core, because some of us are going to be sleeping in. We're doing World Peace Meditation on December 31st at 4 a.m. In person. It will be on Zoom as well. So more than 500 million people, all CSLs worldwide, and many churches gathered together in an array of faith traditions and philosophies across all continents in the world, and will be meditating simultaneously at 4 a.m. Pretty powerful moment. Pretty powerful moment of presence. January 8th, Metaphysical Movie Night is back with a spaghetti dinner. It's a lasagna dinner. Lois has signed up to provide the food, a lasagna. She's bringing lasagna that night, and the movie will be Contact with Jodie Foster, all about one power. January 12th, we have returning. If you liked One Power, we have Daniel Namod coming back to this center. He did a fabulous concert for us 4 or 5 months ago. And concert tickets are on sale. They are at an early bird price through December 31, which basically means through today for $20. I would really appreciate it if you'd sign up. The early bird price, they go to $25 on January 1. So if you sign up today, they're $20, the end of our early bird pricing, and support it. And if you can't be here, I invite you to buy a ticket and give it to a friend. So you can support the center, you can support this concert, buy a ticket, bring a friend. Today, $20. So sign up. We'll have tickets available in the office or at lunch in Carter Hall. And I invite you to join us for our Carter Hall full lunch today. And our practitioners and our ministers will be over here after service to do some prayer work for you.
So my reading today is my reading today is going to be followed by our meditative song and then our invocation. But my reading today comes from the 365 Days of Science of Mind. I picked this up the other day and realized I hadn't done it in a couple years, so I'm thinking about doing it in the new year. It has daily readings from Ernest Tomes on Science of Mind. And you know I love it because it comes with the seal of approval, which is a coffee stain. That's my seal of approval. Everything is, this comes from New Year's Day, the reading from January 1st. Everything is continually being recreated. Spirit is forever making all things new. Today is the time to prove to ourselves that it knows how to bring the right things to pass for us. Let us confidently affirm the divine presence and actually believe that it is guiding us as we consciously bring a problem we are facing into our thoughts, not as a problem, but as though we were receiving the answer, saying, I believe that divine intelligence, which is the mind of God, is guiding, guarding, and directing my thoughts and actions. I believe that God already knows the answer to this particular problem. Therefore, I am letting go of the problem, and I am listening to the answer as though it were sure. The answer to this problem exists in the mind of God and is revealed to my mind now. Something in me does know what to do. I joyfully accept its guidance. I am open to new ideas, new hopes, and new aspirations. This, which so recently seemed a problem, no longer exists. For the mind of God, which knows the answer, is quietly flowing through my thought and feeling. Great peace and joy come over me as I accept this answer from the giver of all life. So it is.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, Spirit divine. Holy, come to me. Holy, feeling love. Holy, healing me. Holy, open my heart. Holy, allow me to see. Beauty and love, we are holy, lives in me. You are holy, holy, holy. 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 You are holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. I am holy, Spirit divine. Holy, come to me. Holy, feeling love. Holy, healing me. Holy, open my heart. Allow me to see beauty and love. We are holy, surrounding me. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy.
And so in the sacred moments, we simply know that there is one wholeness, That wholeness is all love, all peace, all perfect divine right action. It is that perfect intelligence that guides everything, because it is everything. It is that power, that presence, that principle which we call God. It is the holy, holy, the wholeness, the sacredness, the peace, the joy, the harmony that we call God. And so in this moment, I simply bring my attention to this fact that God is the only power, the only principle, the only presence. And it is that power, that presence, and that principle which is bringing us together this morning in oneness and community, to remind each other and to be reminded that there is only one power. It is the holy, holy. It is love, it is peace, it is joy. And I know that all those things and more are unfolding here this morning in perfect ways, perfect for each one of us, an individualized gift in the music, in the message, and in the community. And so I know it continues to unfold in perfect ways just for each one of us as we leave here inspired in love, inspired in joy, and inspired in wisdom. And in great gratitude, I simply declare to be so, and so it is.
And so I want to acknowledge Reverend Neil's presence. Isn't it a grounding presence and a solid presence? And his reading was beautiful, except he totally made this service unnecessary because he talked in his prayer about a place where there are no problems. So knowing Neil brought us to that place of no problems, I'm going to go into my own prayer, which you'll know how spiritual I was when I was 4 or 5 and got to do the prayer at Grandma's table once in a while. And this is how I prayed. Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub, now let's eat. So since Reverend Neil was complete and perfect in his prayer, let's go eat. I'm ready to go eat. But at this center, we do a little spiritual nourishment, hopefully, along the way. And one of the ways that we do that spiritual nourishment is by, this is going back to my first talk here. I thought we'd do a little year-end review. How many people remember this? How many people remember this box? How many people remember what's in this box? The way we do spiritual nourishment, and the way prayer, and someone's presence. We're talking to Adrian today about that spiritual presence and that spiritual presence of abundance that's ever flowing. And when I go back in the tech booth, Chuck is there reading Joel Goldsmith. So I want you to know a lot of people at this service are finding their own way to spirit. I mean, it's amazing back there. And so what we're talking about in Science of Mind, and what we're being called to bring forth, is a paradigm shift. And so there's a pair of dimes in here. And we can take a pair of dimes and look at it as the traditional pair of dimes, or we can look at it as that important paradigm shift. And that paradigm shift, for me, I find through the flames of faith. We lit these Christmas Eve. We lit them today. And the paradigm shift is that consciousness that we are one light. We are one love. We are one truth. And we are one source of abundance. We are one source of awakening. We are one source of awareness. And so today I invite us to start with this affirmation. And the affirmation today, it's a little long, and I don't know if you can read it. The print's a little small, but the affirmation for today is, for through my faith, though my faith is not yours, and your faith is not mine, if we are each free to light our own candle flame, together we can banish some of the darkness of the world. And that's our affirmation today. It's what we did at the candlelight service. And at the candlelight service, we actually took our affirmation candles home. We lit them, and then we had an affirmation. Ross did affirmations. We taped them to the candle, an affirmation candle that said, I'm the light of the world. And you got to take that affirmation candle home. Reverend Neil was talking about spiritual practice, 365 days from Ernest Holmes' book. And so I invite you to find a spiritual practice. If it's lighting a candle, if it's opening a window and letting fresh air in, if it's planting a flower, if it's buying seeds in January for a garden that you plant in April, all of those intentions, all of those actions, bring that garden of April into the coldness of the winter of January. Those seeds that we buy today bring that warmth and that flowering and the abundance of flowers into our life. And so my opening story is a story of the bumpy road. And when I was a kid, and I mean 3, 4, 5, I remember 1957, my parents bought their first brand new car. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It was a Ford station wagon. And we talked before, my neighbors bought a Chevy across the street. And Sunday after church was wash your car day. Everybody on the street, I'm telling you, everybody was washing their car with a bucket of suds and soap and the Brillo scouring pads for the white walls. You got those white walls, everybody was out there. And I was thinking today, you know, we have our Fords, we have our Chevys, and now we have Teslas. So the world always expands. I don't know what statement Tesla makes. I'm not going anywhere near that. But isn't it interesting? We have Fords, we have GMs, we have Teslas. We have all kinds of cars along the way that share our consciousness. And so the story is of our first ride in our new station wagon down the bumpy road at Long Island. It was a dirt road. It was covered by trees, oak trees. The branches covered the road. As you drove down this, it got so dark. Even in the bright of day, it's totally dark. It was like entering a forest. And we talked before about entering forest as a metaphor for transformation, right? Little Red Riding Hood, entering forest and transforming our lives. We went into this dark, and then there was this bump in the road. It was a dirt road. And the cars in 57 were marshmallowy. The idea was a soft ride, not the European hard ride. And the car would hit this bump, and we'd go up and down and up and down. And it was like a roller coaster ride. I mean, the front would go down, and then it would go up in the back, and we were in the back seat, and it would throw you from the back seat. Kids, it would throw us. There were no seat belts then, no safety belts, and it would throw you, and your head would hit the liner, the car liner, and it was phenomenal. It was the best roller coaster ride in the history of the world, and we'd make Dad, go over it 3, 4, 5 times in the dark. And so in order to fully experience the thrill of this ride, in order to fully experience the thrill of this teaching, and if you're not experiencing the thrill of this teaching, then buy a 1957 Chevy, rent one, and go find a bumpy road and ride on it. And here's what you have to do to experience the thrill of this teaching. This teaching doesn't live in anywhere but the thrill. It doesn't live in anywhere but the thrill of that knowing the unknowing. And what we discovered as kids, to experience the full thrill of that ride, you had to fully let go. You could not hang on to any of your past beliefs. You could not hang on to any of your past limitations. You could not even hang on to the door rests because you would miss the ride. If you're hanging on, you're missing the metaphysical ride. If you are hanging on anywhere, you are missing the ride of your life. You're missing the ride of your life. You had not just to fully let go. You had not just to let go. You had to push off, and you had to push up, and you had to push free. You could go down that bumpy road, you could drive around that bump, you could slow down, you could hang on, but you're going to miss the ride of your life. Dr. Joe Hooper, Palm Desert. When I was on the path of ministry, he said, if you become a minister, he said, I hope for you it is the thrill of your life. I hope for you it is the thrill of your life. But for it to be the thrill of my life, for this teaching to be the thrill of your life, for your life to be the thrill of the life you came here to live, you have to push off, you have to push up, and you have to push free. No, you don't have to. You do not have to. There are no have-tos. This is a get-to. This is a get-to. And you either get there or you don't. You either get there or you don't. And when you push off, and when you push free, and when you push up, and then just for a moment in this teaching, boy, I can take myself there pretty often. Wow. Thank you. Thank me. And just for a moment, you are so free of gravity. You are so defying gravity. You are so defying the ways of the world. You are so defying, this is the way we've always done it. And when you defy that, you'll come to touch a divine in yourself that will set you free to flying beyond any resistance, beyond any known of the known. It's a freedom, and it's a faith, and it's philosophy, and it's a way of life that we get to let go to. And so I kind of invite all of us to Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree. Remember that as a kid? Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree. If you were playing hide and seek and they hadn't found you, if you yelled out Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree, it meant you were safe to come out. You didn't lose the game. They didn't find you. It was your safeguard. Get out of jail safe. Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree. And I looked it up today, and it's a German saying. It came from a German saying in 1900. And the German saying was Alle, Alle, Oxenfree. And it means everyone is free as they choose to be. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Wow, that's our teaching. That's our teaching. We're as free as we choose to be. I love that. And just for a moment, when you let go, you're fully free of gravity. You're fully free of time. You're fully free to be. You're fully free to be Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree. And our title today, our talk title is, I love this new clicker. We had a 15-year-old clicker that we spent 10 months making work and adding things and new batteries, and sometimes you have to let go of the old, yes, and sometimes you have to invest in the new, yes, and so you don't have to. You get to invest in a newness of your consciousness that you get to bring forth, you get to breathe forth, you get to live forth, or not. Or not. And so our talk title is BYOB, and it relates to those freedoms of the bumpy road. It relates to the freedoms of that beingness, of being free from gravity, free from time, and free from any beliefs. And it relates to those freedoms of beingness which exist in the realms beyond the bumps of our belief. BYOB, bring your own bumps. And the bumps that we're talking about today are the bumps of our own beliefs. Yet the bumps we're talking about in Science of Mind, what bumps are we talking about in Science of Mind? What are the bumps in the bumpy road of Science of Mind? The bumpy road in Science of Mind that we bump up against time and time and time and time again. Trust me, I know resistance. That's which we resist persists. Trust me, I know that resistance to my good. I know that resistance to spirit. I know that resistance to flying free. But I also know my good. I also know my connection to spirit. And I also know the spirit of flying free. Both, right? The bumps are the resistance. And the bumps of our beliefs are the resistance that keep us from being who we are time and time and time again. So I'm going to share this because it dropped in. And when spirit drops in, just go with it, right? Betty Ann, right? Go with it. When it drops in, you go with it. And so this dropped in. I'm so glad we had this time together just to share a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, it's the time we have to say so long. And what we get to say so long to in Science of Mind are the bumps of our beliefs. And our talk title is BYOB. And no one invited me to go beyond the bumps of my beliefs and into a world of laughter than Carol Burnett. And one of the ways we get beyond the bumps of our beliefs and enter that spiritual realm of freedom is laughter. No one made me laugh harder than Carol Burnett. And Carol Burnett was discovered on Broadway in a show. How many people know Carol Burnett's Broadway show that she was discovered in? Once Upon a Mattress. How do you know that? He's a Carol Burnett nut. He watches the Carol Burnett reruns and books on her. Yes, Once Upon a Mattress. And so how do we, beyond our beliefs, bring your own bumps, the bumps of our beliefs, and how do we get beyond it? And here's a tale. The Once Upon a Mattress was a tale. It's based upon the fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea. Anybody know the fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea? A lot of people know that one. And it's where a princess is tested to see if she could feel a pea placed under her mat. And so I invite us to see that pea as the bumps of our beliefs. this pea under one mattress. And she said, I still feel the pea. The bump of my belief is still there. So they bring on another mattress and another mattress. And she sits atop a pile of 30 mattresses. And she still feels the pea. That's the bumps of our belief. I don't care how much money you have as a layer of your mattress. I don't care what zip code you live in as a layer of your mattress. I don't care what spiritual teaching that keeps you away from knowing who you are. The layers of the beliefs, the bumps of our beliefs, that pea is still there. And we're going to feel it. And that's our subconscious, and that's science of mind. So look at science of mind simply as you can add any layer of mattress to that pea, and that pea is still going to be there until you take the layers of the mattress off and you remove that pea. That's his teaching. Carol Burnett, once upon a mattress. What's the mattress upon which you sleep? What's the mattress upon which you're sleeping? What's the mattress upon which you're going to sleep? What mattress are you not opening up to the awareness and the awakening of spirit? What somnambulism, what waking speak are you living in every day? What's your pea? What's your pea of the bump of your beliefs that's keeping you from living in touch with spirit? And the bumps of our beliefs. And no, I'm talking to me. The cool thing about being up here, I'm talking to me. But I'm talking to me as your face. Yes, Reverend Neil, we're good on this, yeah? He's been there. Actually, he is there. He is there. It's amazing to see yourself reflected back in so many mirrors. A real gift to be up here. It's a real pain in the butt, too, but it's a real gift. It's a real gift, too. I'll tell you, it's everything and all. Welcome to Science of Mind. You get all of it, right? But the bumps of our beliefs are what tend to make our life journey a long and winding road rather than a short and straight and smooth path. It's that pea in our mattress. It's that bump of our belief. And you know, the short and straight and smooth road that we're talking about is the road from our head to our heart. 18 inches. It is the longest journey we'll ever take. And I have good news and I have bad news. You will never complete that journey. But in Science of Mind and at the center, if you will start that journey, your life will expand in ways you've never touched, you've never felt, you've never known. Start the journey, head to heart. And so Shakespeare talks about beyond your own bumps of beliefs. In Macbeth, he shares this. I love this. In fourth grade, I think we were introduced to Shakespeare, just a reading. In the movement of Birnam Wood to Dunsinane, Birnam Wood will move to Dunsinane. How many people remember that from Macbeth? Fourth grade. It just fascinated me. How can a forest move to a town? How can a forest move to a town? Shakespeare was there. He said it occurs when Malcolm's army disguises themselves with branches from Birnam Wood. They make themselves look like trees. And then it makes it appear as though the forest is moving. This event fulfills the witch's prophecy in Macbeth and signifies impending defeat. The trees will move to Dunsinane. And yet, in metaphysical terms, the forest of our beliefs, that the pea under your mattress, the forest of our beliefs often obscure the light of universal truth. There's this light of universal truth, and you cannot turn it off. You can dim it. You can put shades in it. You can put bushel baskets over it. You can put layers of mattresses over it. You can deny it. You can deny it. But you cannot extinguish it. And in metaphysical terms, the forest of our beliefs often obscure, right? They often obscure all of our candlelight, our beliefs, obscure our candlelight of universal truth that we are. And Earthstone shares this about the bumps of our beliefs. He says that often they obscure the light of universal truth. And he said, in alignment with Shakespeare, we are bound by nothing except our beliefs. We're bound nothing except by that pea under the mattress that we won't take out. We're bound nothing except by that bump in the road. And the way to get beyond the bump in the road is to let go of the armrest, to let go of the seat and push yourself up and push yourself off. And I was sharing with you this morning, I'm getting older. I don't like physically. I used to get out of bed and jump in the air, and I used to be able to jump 2 feet. I have no idea why. And it's not ours to know why. It's just to be present with Spirit. I got out of bed and I jumped. And I thought, this is crazy. I haven't done this in 40 years. I literally got out of bed, my feet at the floor, and I jumped 2 inches. Spirit's still there. Spirit is still there. And 2 inches of Spirit will take you is enough to take you on a whole lifetime of your journey. And so we are bound nothing except by our beliefs. And beyond our beliefs are universal truths. Beyond our beliefs are universal truths. Universal truths that Matthew 7:14 speaks to, the truth that the journey from our head to our heart is not long and winding, but short and narrow. It's short and narrow. And here's what is said in Scripture. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life eternal, and few there be that find it. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life eternal, and few there be that find it. And few that be that find it. Ross and I were seeing the same psychologist unknowingly for 3 years. We found that out at a Selamar when we met, and I said, well, I need you to know I'm seeing a psychologist. I should share with you I'm seeing a psychologist. And I said, well, yeah, my psychologist's name is, and he said, that's the psychologist I've been seeing for 3.5 years, seeing the same psychologist for 3.5 years, never met in the office, never met in waiting, and we were working through stuff, and that was our P that we revealed that, hey, we were imperfectly perfect. We were working on stuff. We were working on shining our light. And so the path is straight and narrow. And what is it that Matthew speaks of our finding? What is it that Matthew speaks of our finding? And I feel it's the philo, which is wisdom, the philo of philosophy. Philo means wisdom, the study of wisdom. I feel it's the philo of our philosophy. I feel it's the wisdom counsel of our consciousness. I feel it's the illumination of all ages and all faiths and all times and all places that lies just beyond the limitations of our logic. Just beyond the limitations of our logic. And so Wordsmith today, not a really pretty slide, but the wordsmith today is logic. This dropped in. What is it? The seed drops in to see what condition my condition is. It just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. Just dropping in to see what condition our consciousness is. And the word is logic. And this dropped in to check on the condition of my consciousness. Logic obscures God's infinite consciousness. Logic obscures God's infinite consciousness. You cannot think your way out of the problem with the consciousness that created it. Who's that? Albert Einstein. You cannot create your way out of the problem from the consciousness that created it. How do we move beyond the limitations of the logic of our reason? How? How do we stop thinking? Terry Cole Whitaker, how do we stop stinking thinking? And enter into the liberty of the seasons of our consciousness of love. How do we move beyond the reason of our logic into the seasons of our illogical consciousness? One of the ways is by fracturing the fictions of our fairy tales. One of the ways is by fracturing the fiction of our fairy tales, which were designed to keep us in our limitation. Most of the stories we've been told, most of the learning we've been taught to learn are to keep us from the liberty of the freedom of who we are and to think logically. That's the way of the world. They want to keep the status quo the way it is. So we will teach you how to think logically. Not working too well. And so one of the ways I like to get beyond the logic of my limitations is by fractured fairy tales. How do we fracture a fairy tale, right? How do we fracture a fairy tale? And this one we're going to fracture is the story of Henny Penny, and I'm calling it the story of Henny Penny Revisited. How do we fracture a fairy tale so that it fractures our false beliefs, the false bumps of our beliefs, so that we come into that brilliance, right? BYOB, bring your own brilliance. How can we move from the BYOB of the bumps of our beliefs into the BYOB of bring your own brilliance? Bring your own brilliance to your life. Bring your own brilliance to this center. Bring your own brilliance to this teaching. Bring your own brilliance to your family. Let's move from the bumps of our beliefs into the bring your own brilliance, and let's look at that by fracturing a fairy tale. Henny Penny. What's the log line of Henny Penny? Henny Penny, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. That's our default. Sky is falling. My life is falling apart and the sky is falling on top of me. That's what we are trained to believe. And yet, what do we do in Science of Mind? How do we fracture that fairy tale of a belief that is absolutely not true? It is falser than any fairy tale you could ever imagine. How do we fracture the fairy tales of our beliefs? How do we fracture the fairy tales of our false beliefs? How do we fracture the fairy tales of the bumps of our beliefs and find our way to bring your own brilliance? How do you crack that ray of light in the darkness? One ray of light in the darkness, one ray of light in the darkness, and you will never be in darkness again. You will never be in darkness again. One ray. So we crack it by fracturing fairy tales. No, Henny Penny, the sky is not falling in metaphysics. In metaphysics, the sky is calling. The sky is calling to each of us. I think it's Emerson says your reach should exceed your grasp. That which you're comfortable in grasping, that's a heck of a bump in the road. That's a heck of a bump in the road. If all you can grasp is what you can grasp with these hands. But if you start grasping it with your heart, you're going to move from Henny Penny, the sky is falling, into, oh my God, the sky is calling. The sky is calling to each of us. The sky is calling to each of us to reach out from what is within. It's the wild of our wilderness, of our universal truths within, by which we create the wild of the wonders of the world without. I'm going to do that again because I like the alliteration. The sky is calling to each of us to reach out from what is within us. And what is within us is the wild of the wilderness of these universal truths by which we create the wild of the wonders of the world without. Fracture your fairy tales. Fracture your beliefs. Fracture, we've always done it this way. Because if you keep saying we've always done it this way, you're going to get the life that you've always had. I like to see the world wild as WILD, wondrous, infinite, divine love. You know what the wilderness is inside us, the wilderness of that forest inside us? And I invite, as Shakespeare said, to invite the forest to move on Densenane. I invite the forest of your wilderness within you to move into the world without, for you to become the light, for you to become the forest, for you to become the seed, for you to become the plant. I love that story about the monk who had 24 hours a day, and he goes out and buys 100 apple trees, and he's planting them in the orchard of his monastery, and they come out and say, "What are you doing? You're going to die." He said, "Yes, but I'm leaving the light of hope for a future generation. Somebody's going to come to this orchard and know that somebody planted this tree of faith, even in the midst of the darkness of death, and they're going to grab apples, and they're going to eat, and they're going to have cider, and they're going to have parties, and they're going to have picnics because I planted a tree in the darkness of my times." Bring the force to the imagination of your soul into the realization of the possibilities of this world. Or don't. Or don't. A lot of or don't going around. A lot of or don't going around. When we come from that wondrous, infinite love divine, the wondrous, infinite love divine by which we come to see and be and become the all of that which we were born to be. And we do that by making certain that when we take a walk on the wild side, the wild of our wondrous, infinite love divine, that we aren't walking away from God. Take a walk on the wild side. Take a walk on the wild side. But make certain in that walk on the wild side, you're not walking away from the infinite divine. Don't walk away from the divine. when we walk away from God, and we do that anytime, we allow the bumps of our beliefs to close the openness of our heart. We walk away from God each and every time we allow the bumps of our beliefs to close the openness of our hearts. We walk away from God anytime we believe that in the pain of annihilation of transformation, and transformation is painful. And it's important that more than the pain of annihilation of transformation that is our fear, that we invite in the faith that the more we believe in the possibility and the potentiality of God's ever-present demonstration of love divine, move away from that fear of annihilation of transformation because it's painful and it will feel like annihilation. You will be very alone in this journey at times. You will be very, very alone. But believe in that aloneness, that there's an all of a oneness of transformation, and believe more in the possibility and potentiality of God's ever-present demonstrations of love divine. Because when we walk away from God, every time we believe in the power of demonstration and we look for a demonstration, we look for a financial demonstration, we look for proof, we look to the history, we look to past president, we're so afraid to go into the unknown, we're so afraid to expand, we're so afraid to grow, we're so afraid to show who we are, that at times on this life plane we walk away from God when we have to have the proof of a demonstration to prove who we are. Well, in this teaching, when you move beyond the bumpy road of your beliefs, there's a point in transformation where you will realize that there is no demonstration out there that will take you to the presence of Spirit's light of truth that you are. The transformation is when you realize you are the demonstration of God's light of love. Stop looking for the demonstration out here and realize you are the demonstration. Your being here today is the demonstration of the presence of God's love in your life. Stop looking for the demonstrations, because they're limitations. Ernest Holmes shares this. Can we move to the next slide? How many people have seen that in some form? How many people have seen that in some form? Life is a mirror of love, reflects back to us. When we come to see life as a mirror that always reflects back to us the love that we are, that we shine unto the mirror is reflecting back to us the love that we're shining out. The love that we are always reveals something greater than we are, not only to us, but as us. That mere reflection of love that we are, that we're shining in, is shining back upon us. It reveals to us the something greater that we are, but not only the something greater that we are, but the something greater that we are as we move beyond our bumps of beliefs and bring your own brilliance to the light of this world. Edward Evonne has a wonderful story. It's called "It Was on Fire When I Lay Down Upon It." Carol Burnett lay down on a mattress with a P, not so bad, but lying down on a mattress that's on fire, right? There's a different story. You know, the author says show and tell was his very best part of school for him. And he loved show and tell because he got to bring stories. And he shares a story. He wrote a book, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. And then his second book is It Was on Fire When I Lay Down on It. And he shares that in the bitterness of war between the Germans and the Greek people, he developed a conference center, this author, to nurture and heal. He wanted to nurture and heal right on the spot of the war, so he built it on the battlefront. And he asked the question, what is the meaning of life? And the meaning of life is that life is forever evolving. As a child during the war, he found a broken mirror that was part of a motorcycle that had crashed into a wall, a German motorcycle. The mirror had broken. He picked up a piece of that mirror. He polished it on a rock to make it into a round shape, and he took that mirror wherever he went. And he said what he learned about the light within him, the light that he was, and the light of truth, bring your own brilliance, that mirror helped him bring his own brilliance because he could direct the sunlight over here. He could direct the sunlight and reflect it to the dark of a shadow. He could reflect the sunlight upon himself, and he could see the light reflecting back to the sun. And he said, I learned I can reflect light into the darkest of places. I'm a part of the mirror of life, the whole of which I cannot know. Yet I can direct this light into the heart of others, and as I do, they shine the light back to me. He said his lesson in life was that he was the lens through which life shines. And he said, I have the ability to direct my light wherever I choose. You are the lens in the beam of light. You cannot possess the light. You can only allow it to pass through you. As we come to identify ourselves as the lens through which the light shines, we come to realize we are all connected to that light that Spirit is all the time, that God is all the time. We are the light that we are all the time, and we learn to bring our brilliance to the light of this world. Albert Einstein said the question he asked most in all of his travels with all of his brilliance was, do you believe in God? That's the question. I think Ernest Holmes might ask that question as well. And Einstein said this when he was asked, do you believe in God? I'll tell you, I sure do. More every day. More every day. Einstein said, my beloved, this life is not a test. It is not a step on the way. It is not a rehearsal nor a prelude to paradise. This life is the only thing here and now, and it is all you will ever need. I have set you absolutely free. No prizes or punishments, no sins or virtues. No one carries a marker. No one carries a record. You are absolutely free to create your life as heaven or hell. I can't tell you if there's anything after this life. And Ernest Holmes said that very same thing. But I can give you a tip. Live as if there is nothing after this life. Live as if this is your only chance to enjoy and to love and to exist beyond the boundaries of your beliefs. So if there's nothing after, then you will have enjoyed the opportunity I gave you. And if there is, rest assured that I won't ask you if you behaved right or wrong in the hereafter. Did you like it? I'll ask you, did you like your life? Did you have fun? What did you enjoy the most? Where did you learn the most? Stop believing in spirit without. Stop believing in assumptions and guessing. I don't want you to believe in me, Einstein. I don't want you to believe in my God. I want you to believe in you. When you tuck in your little girl, when you caress your dog, when you bathe in the sea, stop praising me. What kind of egomaniac God do you think I am that I would need to be praised? I'm bored of being praised. I'm tired of being thanked, feeling grateful. Prove my existence to you by taking care of yourself, by taking care of your health, by taking care of your relationships, by taking care of this world. Stop complicating things and repeating as a parakeet what you've been taught about me. I've done it that way. I've done it that way. I've done it that way. What do you need more miracles for? So many explanations. The only thing for sure is that you are here, that you are alive, that the world is full of wonders. Wonders you will only see and be and become when you move beyond the bumps of your beliefs and come to BYOB. Bring your own brilliance to this world. And so we will end where we began with our affirmation today. One light, one power, one truth, one love, eternal, internal, external. Move beyond the bumps of your beliefs into the brilliance of bringing your own brilliance to your life, to this world. And so we'll close with this affirmation. For though my faith is not your faith, and your faith is not my faith, if we are each free to light our own flame together, we can banish some of the darkness of the world. Not all of it, but some of it. And you know what? If today we banished a little of the darkness of the world, it's good enough for me. So know that CSLB loves you. Know that CSLB is here for you. Know that if you haven't told yourself today that you love you, why haven't you? And so we'll end our talk with be well, stay conscious, namaste. And now we'll take that into prayer. And so the prayer for today No, today is too much. How about the prayer for the moment? I can't pray for the whole day. That's too big. That's way too big. And I sure can't pray for tomorrow or the week after. But if we can take prayer into this moment and realize how much light was brought into this center. We had candle lighting service. We had Kwanzaa. We had bell, the lights of the music of the bell. I mean, this has been a week of light and illumination at this center. If you weren't here, you felt it because we broadcast it online, and if you didn't see it online, you had to feel it in this community because there was such light here this week. What an amazing week for this center. And so as I center into this prayer, I'm just going to know that this week, CSLB did its very best to invite you to bring your own brilliance to this world because CSLB brought the best of its brilliance and its light to this community. And together in that light of truth and that light of oneness and that light of possibility beyond our beliefs, beyond our lack, beyond our limitations of we've always done it this way. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? Beyond all of that, there's an infinite truth, and that infinite truth is God's healing power of love and light and truth. And together we say, so it is.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu. I hold you in my heart. Tu es l'image de l'amour. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu sei la luce di Dio. I hold you in my heart. Tu sei il volto dell'amore. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Everybody turn to your neighbor.
You are the face of God.
Let's remind each other that we're all the face of God.
You are the face of God, the face of God. I hold you in my heart, you in my heart. You are a part of me, You are the face of God, the face of God. You are the face of God. Eres la luz de Dios. I hold you in my heart. Eres la cara del amor. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of sei la luce di Dio. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. L'image de Dieu. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face. Oh, c'est la luce de Dieu. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
And so I invite all of us to know that we are the face of God. And I invite you to move beyond the bumps of your beliefs that make the road of life very, very, very rocky and very, very long. And I invite our ushers to come forward at this time and to move beyond the bumps of your beliefs into the brilliance of the brightness of the light that you are by shining forth and informing your face and informing the world that you are the light of God. And so it's time for us to tithe to this center. And we tithe this center in many ways. We tithe in time, our commitment to volunteer. We bring our talents, Chuck's talent as he moves into our tech booth, and Adrian's talent as he moves forward in Practitioner, and my talent as I move forward into ministry. Time, tithe, and talent. And part of our tithe is our financial tithe, because this center does live on donations, and this center is expanding. It is growing in consciousness. It is, and it will continue. And I invite you to expand your financial contribution just a little bit if you can as we expand forward in the year ahead. We have really big plans, and we have a really big budget. And we've created a really big budget, and so we know it's going to fill in. It did this year. It always has. It always will. So bring your brilliance of you knowing that you are the gift of heaven on earth, that Spirit is your source. And so we read this together knowing Spirit is our source. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything.
I love this.
Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, 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 thank you.
And so now it's time for us to circle up. We sing our way out. We do our best to encircle this center. We hold hands if you're comfortable. You can remain seated and join us in consciousness, and we will sing our way out. Chuck and Adrian will have the lyrics. There they are. And we invite you to sing from that openness of your heart today. So let this song come from your heart.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
So knowing something wonderful happened at CSLB today, and that something wonderful is awakening to the awareness that as we move beyond the bumps of our beliefs and to the bounty of our brilliance, we open up to our love, we open up to this world, we open up to each other, and we become a family that unites the world. So no, we are the family that is uniting the family of this world. And together we say, and so it is. Practitioner prayer support over here. Full lunch in Carter Hall.